Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, our group will present about mini project 2. So, I will introduce my group member. So, my name is Ahmed Daniel Benzawawi and my metric card number is 01DDT20F1073. With my partner Muhammad Aiman Beramdi, his metric card number is 01DDT20F1033, and lastly member is Muhammad Faiz bin Abdul Rahman. His metric card number is 01DT20F1086. Okay, so for introduction, user interface design is the design field that focus on the look and feel of an app or website that we interact with. Unlike UX design, which focus on the user experience, UI design focus on aesthetic. The look and feel of an app can be the colors users see, the animation interact with, the button they press, or the text they read. They fall under the job description of a UI designer. UI designers can bring innovation to design since they get to focus more on the creative side of the project. They can come up with more innovative ways to display information. In this report, we will show the design elements that we place in our application. In addition, we will show how our system is used to get the result we want to be used by users. Okay, so firstly, for user interface guideline, we use some element of Jacob Nielsen and Rolf Molik user design guidelines to make the application look interesting. We use some elements of Jacob Nielsen and Rolf Molik user design guidelines to make application look interesting. Many of the most successful firms in the world, such as Apple, Google, Adobe, have incorporated this heuristic into their products. So, firstly, user guideline is visibility of system status. We have Knowing Cipher application that allows the user to know the activities that our application is doing. For example, when the user is answering the quiz, the user cannot the time left to answer the quiz. So the second, system match to the real world. An example of our Knowing Cipher application mimicking to real world cipher words and representation to that our target user. Is where we design the information structure and terminology, same wording we would use in the Cipher decoder system. Also, we provide an update for some information that our user should know. User control and freedom. Our Knowing Cipher application providing user to control every step that they want. Example, user can put their plain text that they want encrypt and shift number to produce the cipher code. User easily take a step if they make a mistake. So artistic and minimalist design. The menu bar is our Knowing Cipher app displays the icon and is neatly tucked onto the side to help keep clutter to a minimum and maintain a minimalist aesthetic. Lastly, help users recognize, diagnose, and recover from errors. Whenever there is an error, Knowing Cipher provides dialogue that lets the user know what went wrong and how to fix. Okay, so I will continue about user interface component. When designing your interface, we try to be consistent and predictable in user choice of interface element. Whether they are aware of it or not, users have become familiar with elements acting in a certain way. So choosing to adopt these elements when appropriate will help with a task completion, efficiency, and satisfaction. So, firstly, user component that we put in our app is card. Card is super popular these days. Card are small rectangular or square modules that contain different kinds of information in the form button, text, rich media, and so on. Card act as entry point for the user, displaying different kinds of content side by side, which the user can then click on. Cards are great UI design choice or if you want to make smart use of the space available and present user with multiple content option without making them scroll through the a traditional list. Hamburger menu. The three little horizontal lines look slightly like a American quintessential quintessential meal and represent a list menu. You commonly find the hamburger menu on the top left corner of apps, most likely containing a group navigation links. So, notification. Notification, you find these little red dots on interface today. They let us know there is something new, like a message for us to go check out. So, import controls, a button. A button indicate an action upon to and is typically labeled using text and icon above. Second, text field. Text fields allow user to enter text. It can allow either a single line or multiple lines of text. So lastly is navigational components. A search field, a search box allows users to enter a keyword or phrase and submit it to search the index with the intention of getting back the most relevant results. Typically, search fields are single line text box and are often accompanied by a search button. So lastly, of navigational components that we put in our app is icon. An icon is a simplified serving as an initiative symbol that is used to help users to navigate the system. Typically, icons are hyperlinked. So, for the output and input controls and security, we will be explained to Faiz Rahman will be explained about output and input controls and security. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Amir Daniel. Okay, for the next part is output and input control and security. For the first is the easiest way to understand the Caesar cipher is to think of cycling the position of the letters. In a Caesar cipher with a shift of 3, A become D become E, C become F. When the reaching the end of the alphabet is cycled around. So X become A, Y become B, and Z become C. Okay, for the next part is output for our apps to decrypt a message. To decrypt, take the first letter and of the cipher text and the first letter of the key. After that, enter the text cipher into the text box to be decrypted to plain text. From there, the user will able to convert cipher text to plain text for the user to read the secret message sign. As usual, encryption is the method by which informing is converted into secret code that hide the information through meaning. The science of encrypting and decrypting information is called cryptography. In this application, we will provide a space text view to display the output of decrypt encrypt message. The message cipher text and key will be taken as input from the user. Then user will enter the plain text they want to encrypt. For the security, encryption has been used to protect the secrecy of communication between a sender and receiver. The encryption and decryption keys are the same and must be kept secret. Without the secret key, there is no practical way to decrypt the data. One can visualize the symmetric encryption process as putting plain text data in a box and then locking the box using a secret key. The box can be opened only using the same secret key. Cryptography is used to secure and protect data during communication. And the next is the system and project testing that is involved in our apps. First is system testing is a level of testing that validates the complete and fully integrated software product. The purpose of system is to evaluate the end-to-end system specification. For the first text view, to show output, encrypt or decrypt message, and edit text to take input message, cipher text, and key. Whenever encryption data is sent between two separate machines, it is encrypted automatically using a secret key. For example, the person who is sending the data to the destination is transforming humanly understandable message into a comprehensible and obscure form that cannot be interpreted. Next is for decryption. It is a method of converting the unreadable coded data into its original form. The receiver of the data automatically allow you to convert the data from the code into its original form. For example, the receiver receives the data and convert it. The only single algorithm is used for encryption and decryption with a pair of keys where is used for encryption and decryption. Lastly, major function is a conversion of obscure message into an understandable form which is easy to understand by a human. So this is the system and project testing picture. For the first is sender, send to plaintext, and then encryption key to ciphertext, and then receiver to ciphertext again, and decryption key to plaintext. For the next part, I will pass to Aiman Ramli.
Thank you, Faiz Rahman. Now I will continue our presentation. Explain how you implement your project to your user. Describe the step and reconfiguration required. First, users will see our application interface like this. Here, we provide a login button, register, and also forgot password. For new users, they need to register first, and for users who have registered, they only need to log in. We also provide a forgot your password button to help users if they forgot their password. Once the user successfully logs in, they will see the Sizr Cipher Trivia interface. In this page, we provide general knowledge about Sizr Cipher to the user. All users are strongly encouraged to make the reading in advance, especially to those who do not know about Sizr Cipher. Next, to move the second page, the user needs to click 3 lines in the upper left corner. Then the user will see the interface of Sizr Cipher Coder. On this page, we give users the opportunity to try to encrypt and decrypt themselves. And for the last page, we provide a quiz to users. Here, we will find out the level of understanding of users after using our application. To answer the quiz, we set the time and we also provide the answers as a guide. For the last question, suggest an appropriate system support and security for your project. Data backup and recovery. A backup purpose is to create copies of data that you can recover when your primary data fails. Primary data failures can result from several issues including software and hardware failure. A human-caused event, data corruption, malicious ransomware attacks, and accidental deletion of data. Backup copies allow you to restore your data from an earlier point in time to aid your business in quickly recovering from an unplanned event. Storing a copy of your data on a separate medium is necessary to prevent corruption or loss. The additional backup device could be as simple as a USB stick or external hard drive, or more substantial, like a tape drive, disk storage medium, or cloud storage container. You could either put the alternate medium in the same location as your primary data or store it remotely. If you are situated in an area with a high possibility of weather-related events, using a remote location is justified. For best result, make your backup copies on a regular and consistent basis to minimize the amount of data lost between backups. This means that the more time that passes between your backup copies, the more potential for data loss you face when recovering from a failure. So, do not wait months to make your backup copies. Also, returning multiple copies of your data provides you with the flexibility and insurance to restore your system to a point in time that was not affected by malicious attacks, hardware failure, or data corruption. That's all from us. Thank you.